Windows Forms. Hello everyone, and welcome to our presentation on exploring Windows Forms in Visual Basic.NET. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of Windows Forms, or WinForms, and how they play a crucial role in desktop application development within the Visual Basic.NET framework. Windows Forms provide a powerful foundation for creating user interfaces in desktop applications. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced developer, understanding WinForms is essential for building intuitive and user-friendly applications. Throughout this presentation, we'll cover the essential concepts, highlight key features, and demonstrate practical applications of Forms in Visual Basic.NET. By the end, you'll have a solid understanding of how to leverage WinForms to create dynamic and engaging desktop applications. So, let's get started and uncover the magic of Windows Forms in Visual Basic.NET. Let's delve deeper into what Windows Forms are and why they're such an integral part of desktop application development within the .NET ecosystem. Windows Forms, often abbreviated as WinForms, serve as a graphical user interface (GUI) framework specifically designed for creating desktop applications. They were first introduced as part of the .NET Framework 1.0 and have since become a cornerstone for desktop application development in the Microsoft ecosystem. Unlike web-based applications that run within a browser, Windows Forms applications operate directly on the user's desktop environment. This provides users with a native and responsive experience for seamless integration with the Windows operating system. The beauty of Windows Forms lies in its versatility and ease of use. It provides developers with a rich toolkit comprising pre-built controls and components, enabling them to create intuitive and visually appealing user interfaces with minimal effort. These controls possess a wide range of UI elements, including buttons, text boxes, labels, menus, and more. With such a diverse set of tools at their disposal, developers can design feature-rich applications that meet the needs of their users effectively. In essence, Windows Forms simplify the process of desktop application development, allowing developers to focus on building functional and engaging software without getting bogged down by the complexities of UI design and implementation. Let's delve deeper into what Windows Forms are and why they're such an integral part of desktop application development within the .NET ecosystem. Windows Forms, often abbreviated as WinForms, serve as a graphical user interface (GUI) framework specifically designed for creating desktop applications. They were first introduced as part of the .NET Framework 1.0 and have since become a cornerstone for desktop application development in the Microsoft ecosystem. Unlike web-based applications that run within a browser, Windows Forms applications operate directly on the user's desktop environment. This provides users with a native and responsive experience for seamless integration with the Windows operating system. The beauty of Windows Forms lies in its versatility and ease of use. It provides developers with a rich toolkit comprising pre-built controls and components, enabling them to create intuitive and visually appealing user interfaces with minimal effort. These controls possess a wide range of UI elements, including buttons, text boxes, labels, menus, and more. With such a diverse set of tools at their disposal, developers can design feature-rich applications that meet the needs of their users effectively. In essence, Windows Forms simplify the process of desktop application development, allowing developers to focus on building functional and engaging software without getting bogged down by the complexities of UI design and implementation. Now, let's walk through the process of creating a Windows Forms application in Visual Basic.NET. Open Visual Studio. Begin by launching the Visual Studio IDE, which serves as a powerful development environment for creating .NET applications. Select File-New-Project, navigate to the top and click on File. From the drop-down menu, select New and then Project. Choose Visual Basic-Windows Forms App.NET. In the New Project dialog box, locate Visual Basic in the left pane. Under Visual Basic, select Windows Forms App.NET from the available templates. Name your project and click Create. Enter a name for your Windows Forms application in the name field. Choose the location where you want to save your project. Finally, click on the Create button to generate the project structure and open it in the Visual Studio IDE. By following these simple steps, quickly initiate a new Windows Forms project in Visual Basic.net, setting the stage for developing desktop applications with ease. Let's explore the Visual Studio IDE and its suite of tools that make Windows Forms development in Visual Basic.net a breeze. Comprehensive Development Environment. Visual Studio offers a comprehensive integrated development environment, IDE, tailored for Windows Forms development in Visual Basic.net. It includes a wide array of tools and features that streamline the entire development lifecycle, from designing user interfaces to debugging and deployment. Solution Explorer. The Solution Explorer serves as a centralized view within Visual Studio, displaying the structure of your solution and its projects. It allows developers to efficiently navigate through project files, manage dependencies, and organize resources. Toolbox. The Toolbox is a collection of controls, components, and tools that developers can drag and drop onto the design surface. It provides quick access to various UI elements, facilitating the rapid construction of the user interface for Windows Forms applications. Properties Window. The Properties window enables developers to view and modify the properties of selected controls or components. It offers a convenient interface for adjusting properties such as size, position, appearance, and behavior, enhancing the customization of UI elements. Form Designer. The Form Designer is a visual layout tool integrated into Visual Studio, specifically designed for designing the user interface of Windows Forms applications. It offers a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, design surface, allowing developers to visually arrange and customize UI controls with ease. By leveraging the Studio IDE and its suite of tools, developers can efficiently create, design, and refine Windows Forms applications in Visual Basic.net, optimizing productivity and enhancing the development experience. Now, let's take a closer look at the Form Designer within Visual Studio, which is an essential tool for designing the user interface, UI, of Windows Forms applications. Visual Layout Tool. The Form Designer serves as a visual layout tool within Visual Studio, providing a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, design surface. This allows developers to arrange UI controls visually, making it easier to design the UI. Drag and drop functionality. Developers can add UI controls to the form by simply dragging and dropping them from the toolbox onto the design surface. This intuitive approach simplifies the process of building the UI and reduces the need for manual editing. Customization options. The Form Designer offers extensive customization options for UI controls, accessible through the Properties window. Developers can modify properties such as size, position, font, color, and behavior to achieve the desired look and functionality. Layout Management. Developers can utilize layout management features within the Form Designer to organize and align UI controls effectively. Options such as anchoring, docking, and layout panels help maintain consistent UI appearance across different screen resolutions and form sizes. Real-time preview. The Form Designer provides real-time preview functionality, allowing developers to see how the UI will look and behave as they design it. Changes made to the UI controls are immediately reflected on the design surface, facilitating rapid prototyping and iteration. By leveraging the Form Designer in Visual Studio, developers can efficiently design visually appealing and user-friendly UIs for their Windows Forms applications, speeding up the development process and enhancing the overall user experience. Let's explore some of the common controls available in Windows Forms applications and how they enhance user interaction. Button. Buttons are interactive elements used to trigger actions or events when clicked by the user. They can be customized with text, images, and various visual properties to effectively convey their purpose. Text box. Text boxes allow users to input and edit text within the application. They support features such as text selection, copy-paste functionality, and text formatting options. Label. Labels are non-editable elements used to display static text or captions. They are often used to provide instruction, descriptions, or identifiers for other controls. Combo box. Combo boxes enable users to select an item from a predefined list of options. They can be configured to display a list of items in a drop-down menu or as a drop-down grid. List box. List boxes allow users to select one or more items of options. They support single selection or multiple selection modes and can display a scroll bar for navigating through large lists. Data grid view. Data grid views are used to display tabular data in a grid format. They support features such as sorting, filtering, editing, and formatting of data columns. Controls. Windows Forms offers a wide range of additional controls including checkboxes, radio buttons, progress bars, sliders, calendars, and more. These controls cater to various UI requirements and enable developers to create rich and interactive user interfaces. By leveraging these common controls functionalities, developers can design intuitive and user-friendly interfaces for their Windows Forms applications, enhancing the overall user experience and usability. Now, let's delve into event-driven programming in Windows Forms applications and how it enhances user interaction. Event-driven model. Windows Forms applications operate on an event-driven programming model. In this model, actions or occurrences, known as events, trigger specific responses or actions within the application. These events can be generated by user interactions, system events, or changes in the application state. Event handlers. An event handler is a piece of code that responds to a specific event when it occurs. In Visual Basic.NET, event handlers are typically implemented as subroutines or methods associated with UI controls. They are invoked automatically when the corresponding event is raised, allowing developers to execute custom logic in response to user interactions. Common events. Windows Forms provides a wide range of predefined events for various UI controls, including button clicks, mouse movements, key press, and form loading/unloading. Developers can subscribe to these events by writing event handler methods and associating them with the corresponding controls. Example: handling button click event. Let's consider an example of handling the button click event in Visual Basic.NET. In the provided code snippet, the button_click event handler is triggered when the associated button 1, is clicked by the user. Developers can then write custom code within this event handler to execute specific actions in response to the button click. By leveraging the event-driven programming model in Windows Forms, developers can create dynamic and responsive applications that react to user interactions and system events effectively, enhancing the overall user experience. Let's explore the concept of data binding in Windows Forms applications and its benefits. Data binding concept. Data binding enables the synchronization of UI controls with data sources such as databases, collections, or objects. It establishes a connection between UI elements and data, ensuring automatic reaction of changes made in one onto the other. Benefits of data binding. Simplified UI development. Data binding reduces code complexity, making UI development cleaner and more maintainable. Real-time updates. Changes in the data source are instantly reflected in bound UI controls, ensuring the UI remains in sync. Two-way binding. Users can modify data through UI controls, and changes are propagated back to the data source. Binding controls to data sources. Windows Forms provides built-in support for binding various UI controls to data sources. Developers can visually or programmatically establish data bindings using the Data Source window and Properties window. Example scenario: consider binding a data grid view control to a database table or collection. Developers can configure the data source, data member, and binding properties to set up the data binding process. Custom data binding. Developers can implement custom data binding logic using the binding source component and data binding events. This offers greater flexibility and control over complex data scenarios. By leveraging data binding, developers can create responsive and data-driven user interfaces in Windows Forms applications, enhancing usability and productivity. Let's discuss the deployment process for Windows Forms applications and the various options available. Deployment overview. Once a Windows Forms application is developed, the next step is deployment. This involves packaging the application and its dependencies into a format suitable for installation on target machines. Deployment options. Standalone executable. Applications can be compiled into standalone executable files, .exe, for direct execution. Installation package. Alternatively, developers can create installation packages, e.g., MSI installer, for automated deployment. Click deployment. Click Once is a deployment technology that simplifies the installation of Windows Forms applications over the internet or intranet, providing automatic updates and version management. Prerequisites and dependencies. Ensure all required prerequisites and dependencies are included or installed on target machines, such as the .NET Framework time and database drivers. Testing and distribution. Thoroughly test the application on various environments before distribution. Distribute through email, network shares, or software distribution platforms. Updating and maintenance. Provide updates and maintenance post-deployment, considering mechanisms like automatic updates or control. Understanding the deployment process and selecting appropriate options ensures effective delivery of Windows Forms applications to end users, providing a seamless and reliable user experience. Let's explore the importance of localization and globalization in Windows Forms applications. Localization versus globalization. Localization focuses on adapting an application to support multiple languages and cultural preferences, while globalization involves designing applications from the outset to accommodate cultural differences. Multilingual User Interface (MUI) support. Windows Forms offers built-in support for creating multilingual user interfaces, making it easy to localize applications using resources like satellite assemblies and .resx files. Culture and language settings. Windows Forms applications can detect and respond to the user's preferred culture and language settings, providing a personalized experience based on culture info. Date and time formatting. Globalization extends to formatting conventions for date, time, numbers, and currency, ensuring consistency across different locales. Right-to-left RTL support. Windows Forms applications can adapt to RTL layouts for languages like Arabic and Hebrew, ensuring proper alignment and readability. Testing and verification. Thorough testing is essential to ensure applications function correctly across languages, cultures, and regional settings, UI layout, text translation, and cultural-specific behaviors. By incorporating localization and globalization strategies, Windows Forms applications can effectively reach a global audience, providing a culturally sensitive and inclusive user experience. Let's explore some best practices for developing Windows Forms applications. Model View Model, MVVM, pattern. MVVM helps in organizing code, separating concerns, and improving maintainability by dividing the application into model, view, and view model components. Asynchronous programming. Use asynchronous programming techniques to keep the UI responsive by executing time-consuming tasks in the background. Error handling and logging. Implement robust error handling to gracefully handle exceptions and log errors for debugging purposes. User experience, UX, design. Focus on UX design principles to create intuitive and user-friendly interfaces, enhancing usability and user satisfaction. Code optimization and performance. Optimize code for performance by minimizing unnecessary operations and utilizing efficient algorithms. Continuous integration and deployment CI/CD. Automate the build, testing, and deployment processes to ensure a streamlined development workflow and faster release cycles. By following these best practices, developers can create high-quality, maintainable, and performant Windows Forms applications that provide a superior user experience. Thank you for your unwavering attention throughout this journey.